There are three types of leadership approaches. And for any given situation, one's the right approach and the two others are really going to hold you back. Listen to this quick upcoming episode so you are making sure you're using the right approach for whatever is in front of you right now.
Welcome to Leadership Mindset 2.0. Practical neuroscience and psychology to transform you from a tactical doer into a strategic leader. Here is your host, former social entrepreneur of the year and coach to some of the world's top executives, R. Michael Anderson.
Back when I was running my software companies and I was maturing as a leader, I was putting in more and more of the tools and techniques that I teach you here. I had an amazing coach. Her name was Michelle Saul. And I started to learn about how a company has a compelling purpose and a really clear vision. And I wanted to put that into my main company, Radiant Technologies. So I went to Michelle and I told her, hey, I think it's ready for me to have a purpose and a vision. She said, that's great. And I said, okay, well, what I want to do, why don't we have like a meeting and we'll facilitate it. And as a group, we're going to come up with the purpose and the vision. And she goes, no. I'm like, well, why not? She said, look, it's good to get everybody involved. It's great to get everybody involved at the right times and at the right places. She said, but you're the founder, you're the owner. They are there because of you. And you have great middle managers, you have a great executive team, though you're the visionary, Michael. They want to follow you. And so what you need to do, and this is what I worked with her on, is I came up with the purpose, I came up with the vision, and then I presented it to them. Everybody got excited. And then the collaboration part was figuring out how we're going to achieve them. That was a great lesson for me. And that helped me understand. And what I want to help you understand is people want to be led. If you're in a leadership position, you are thinking about things in a different way. And oftentimes we think everybody is like us. Everybody's in the same situation. Everybody thinks like us. Well, most of the time, 95 to 98% of the people, they just want to know their role and do their job. Sometimes when we're an executive or we're a business owner, we think everybody wants to be this executive or everybody wants to be this business owner. Yes, some do or some may, but most people just want to stay in their lane, do a great job, and have somebody tell them the direction of the company. Now, this doesn't mean every time you come up with a purpose and a vision, it should be you doing it. But you need to understand the situation. And there's three different types of leadership approaches that you can take for anything. And you probably want to be doing different one of these in different areas of your leadership. And I'm going to talk about all three of them and talk about when you should use them and the danger of using them when they shouldn't be used. And so the first one is what I call visionary leadership. This is what Michelle was helping me do. It's to really stand in my power, come up with a vision, come up with a direction of the team. What the leader does is the leader goes and they have a vision for where the team's going. Now, this is very natural for me because I get in my head, I get visions of where the team needs to go. And just like everything else, as we talk about these three approaches, one or two may be more natural to you than the other ones. And just like everything else we talked about, you need to understand where your strengths are and where your, let's face it, weaknesses are. And we have a tendency to play into our strengths and run away from our weaknesses. As we go through these, figure out where you're using these and where you need to be using these. Let's go back to visionary. You know how things should be done. You know how you want things to be done. And you have a vision of what success looks like. Now, this can be very powerful, and this is great when you need to get the team somewhere. This is especially great when the team doesn't know where they're going. They need some direction. They need some strength at the top. Maybe your team is a bit younger, less experienced. Maybe you have started the company or you're in a place where you really need to get them from one place to another. The thing is, when you use this too much or you use this in the wrong areas, it stifles creativity. because people feel like they may not have a voice in where the team is going. They may feel they're not part of figuring out where the solution is. I find normally teams do want a vision and a purpose. If this is a for-profit company, if this is a nonprofit, maybe there's more of an opportunity to have purpose and vision developed by the volunteers on the board, for example. But I also want to caution you, because it's great when, for example, a team or a committee comes up with something together. But they've also found that the more people in a decision, especially a creative or a strategic decision like this, the less risk that they're going to take, the less bold that they come up with. Because when you're in a committee, when you're in a group of people, and maybe I have a really bold idea and I present it to people, people are like, oh my gosh, that's too much risk. I can't see how that's going to work out. And so it gets watered down. There's a reason why Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have a dream, not we have a dream. It was his vision, right? Abraham Lincoln had a vision of what he wanted to do, whether it's the guy from Patagonia, whether it is Steve Jobs, whether it is Elon Musk, had some pretty big, crazy ideas that if they would have brought it to a committee might have said, oh, well, we don't need an iPod. That already exists, so we may not want to do that type of thing. Or what do you mean an electric car company? That doesn't make sense. You got to watch when you want to be bold, and it takes courage to come up with this. It takes courage to be a visionary leader. That's the first type of leader, visionary leader. The second is a collaborative leader. And what this is getting everybody involved. This is why you be a democratic, participative, collaborative leader. So this is when the leader focuses on building consensus and get the team to co-create. And it's really great for building trust, buy-in, and morale. If you have a mature team with other leaders on the team who understand the industry, understand what needs to be done, then this is a really good thing to put forward. The issue with this is it can be slow. Like I talked about, where, first of all, getting consensus can be slow. You got to be careful when you put something out to a group. They may not go the direction you sort of want them to go. So you got to be careful what questions you ask a group, a senior leadership team or what have you, your group of managers. And also it could sometimes be divisive. But the great thing about being collaborative is people have a hand in what they are developing. And you as a leader, even if you come up with a vision and you have this compelling vision, you're going to need collaboration on how to get there, how to solve the problems, how to solve the issues. So you're going to want to use these together oftentimes. And what the collaborative leader also does is you need to work on your facilitation. Meaning, if you're going to be collaborative, when you're collaborative, you give it to the team, you give it to the person, you give it to the people, and you need to stand out of their way a little bit. And you need to guide them and coach them. This could be giving them encouragement. This could be making sure that people are communicating. This could be identifying personality conflicts and getting them on the same page. So it really tests your collaboration and facilitation skills. The third type, which I somewhat group in with the second type, is you might call the delegative leader, the leader that delegates. This is very hands-off leadership, where you have groups or teams or people underneath you that are real amazing experts, and you basically step back and let them do their own job. Now, this can be really effective when you have groups of experts, when you are, for example, managing a lab. If you heard my Fire and Forget episode, which a lot of people bring up to me, you need to make sure you audit people. You need to make sure you're keeping your hand in there. So I just want to tell you, this is similar to the collaborative, but there is also just the delegative, where you just give a group or an expert the task. You have to be careful, because I have leaders that have implemented this, but then they're disconnected from their team. Their bosses say, hey, I don't know what you're doing. They feel like they're out of the loop. They're not adding a lot of value. This is sometimes necessary, especially, like I said, when you have experts and different types of things like that. So that is it, dear leader. You have to realize when and where each one of these, the visionary leadership, the collaborative leadership, and the delegative leadership, is required. And there's a good chance that you need to bring all three to the table. Your job is to figure out which one you need when and go apply them. So my challenge to you, dear leader, is I've given you all three. Which one is your most natural? And which one or ones are you not naturally good at? Where do you need to switch your approach in your leadership life? I could delegate more to this one expert. Maybe that's what it is. Or, hey, we have this thing going on. I really need to get some collaboration in there. So let's get the right people together. Or, hey, this one team has a lack of direction. I'm going to come in with a strong vision and a purpose and then get them to understand their roles and get there. So that's what you need to do. What is your strength? Which one is not natural to you? And then what do you need to change your approach in what area? All right, everybody, that's Michael. Go out there and apply these. Really simple mindset shifts can really matter a lot to your leadership and your teams. That's it for today's episode. If you as a leader are getting value out of Leadership Mindset 2.0, but you simply need to move faster, maybe you have some big challenges weighing on you right now, or you have some really big goals that you need to achieve, then you're a candidate for executive coaching. This is where you and I work one-on-one to give you the fastest route to success possible. If you're interested, go to rmichaelanderson.com/coaching, where you will find all about what this looks like. If you're a leader who's really committed to their growth and success, then this is for you.